55192. Well, the Guardians are just stacking up runs.
I love it.
Yep, it's 2-2 against the Padres out in San Diego. 6-0. Bottom of the fifth. They were sitting there at 1-0 for a while, but they must have gotten a whole series of runs.
Fourth inning, they blew it wide open. So Jose Ramirez has hit 2 home runs. In the fourth inning, they scored 5 runs. So
are people still talking about that Stephen Kwan kid? For a while, everybody was really creaming their jeans.
I mean,
over
he's
him.
definitely cooled off from the beginning of the season, but I think he's still playing good. He had a couple of RBIs in that inning.
Okay. Next week on the show, short week, be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I'll have tickets for you if you want to get to that In This Moment show, Maria Brink, with really good support on that. Sleep Token is a great band. That's going to be mid-September at the Agora. Cedar Point tickets, I'll have 4-pack of tickets for you for Cedar Point. And Tenacious D tickets all next week at 420.
Mary, we going?
Tenacious D is September the 16th out at Blossom. Mary will not be going, as she has this misguided impression that Tenacious D is no good.
Come on, from the D to Willoughby. Friday night we go to Tenacious D. Then Saturday's our show in Willoughby. It'll make everything so perfect.
You know, the 16th of September, by the way, Tenacious D notwithstanding, that's going to be a big show here because our friend Josh Wolf is going to return. He's doing that weekend at Hilarities. And the triumphant return of Dr. Ryan Berglund, who is a surgical urologist with the Cleveland Clinic, and for many years very graciously gave of his time and his talents and would come in and do a segment with us called Is It Red? And he would just take calls from you guys who've got weird stuff going on in the strike zone. And he would sometimes be out there saving lives, as it were. Now, with COVID and everything, we haven't seen him for quite some time. February of 2020 was the last Is It Red that we did. So he will return on September the 16th. And I expect each and every one of you with drippy bits.
Come on.
And if they're not drippy right now, you got time to get them drippy by September 16th.
Go get them all dripped up.
That's right. Come on.
Drip them up.
Create your own destiny. You are the master of your domain. Give him something to work with. I mean, I'm golden. I can't be in here helping. I can't be telling him things.
You wear condoms with your wife.
Yes.
I think you're
going
going
to
to
get no drip.
No drip. Only drip I have is my Adidas tracksuit.
Look.
Boom. Take that.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. Still, if you want to leave us voicemails there, you can still use it. It's 216-986-8903.
Listening to the show from the 22nd, talking about Gary Busey, I was at a horror convention, and after hours, we all went to the bar that was in the hotel, and he was hitting hard on my girlfriend at the time. And I just remember being very drunk and going into the restroom and splashing some water on my face and thinking, I may have to punch Gary Busey in his Gary Busey face. Now, I didn't have to do that. Everything turned out fine, but whoo, what a thing to have to deal with. Gene from Parma.
Oh, my God. Gene from Parma is the best.
Gene. I love Gene
Holy
from Parma.
cow. I was really worried that I would have to punch Gary Busey in his Gary Busey face.
There's no other way to put it.
It's the only one that he had. And Gene could have done some damage there. Thank you, Gene. It was like hearing from Gene. You know, we were talking about sniffing, Poundcake and I on occasion will sniff each other's armpits. And they have come to a scientific conclusion that people who are more into sniffing another person, like people who engage in more body odor stuff, right? You get a straight shot of them pheromones. It really makes you hornier. This was a this was a cross-cultural thing. They studied people in China. They studied people here. They studied people in India, where you it's a full spectrum there of body odor sniffing. But across the board, people who do more full-on sniffing of another person, irrespective of what kind of shape they're in, it horns them up. So it's good to know for people who don't. Sometimes you never know what you're into. Maybe not even into, but you can become accustomed to something because of the person. Like I remember I didn't date girls who smoked because I didn't smoke. It wasn't my thing, whatever. But I dated this one girl. One of the first girls I remember dating regularly was probably 4 years older than me. And she smoked. And at first I was like, but she was so cute. And I was batting so far out of my league that I hung on. And I got into
That smell.
the smoky making out. There was something about it.
Really?
Yes. No one was more surprised than I was. And then, of course,
I bet your mother would be more surprised.
she was very
Not
displeased.
raise you that way.
Very displeased. My mom said when I was younger and just starting to date, don't date girls who smoke. Because if you fall in love and marry them,
They stink.
they'll be smoking around your kids. And it's just some silly little thing that, mind you, everyone in my family smokes. Not my mom and dad. They quit before I was born. When my dad started smoking, he was 15. All my other siblings smoke. Like when I get together with my family, every half an hour, my two brothers and my sister were out in the garage smoking.
Yeah.
Smoke break.
And I don't smoke.
So cool.
You just what?
It's just the coolest thing.
I think that pheromone thing, I know it's science. It's definitely real. My boyfriend has probably too much information.
Yeah.
Tell us
I
about
love-
his stink.
I call it his stink. I swear to God. Like when he wakes up in the morning, like he's kind of sweaty and he had showered after work the night before. So he kind of it's just like his smell.
Yeah,
like
it's his
that's what
pheromones,
he
yeah.
smells like. And I love it. I stick my face in his neck and I tell him like, give me that stink, man. I love that. But I've never experienced that with
That's why he doesn't wear cologne, I bet.
probably.
You don't want to cover that up.
I've never experienced that with another dude where I was just like attracted to the smell of their skin.
Science is a liar sometimes.
I tell him.
Well,
like,
then he
your pheromones are keeping me around.
is and his frugality.
Yes. That's actually the name of our new couple podcast, Pheromones and Frugality, on the iHeartRadio.
There you go. Spelled both with an F or a PH.
You actually
whatever you like.
superimpose the two.
Oh, you do.
So it's Pheromones with an F, Frugality
That
with
is
a P.
so cute.
Mm-hmm.
He's pheromones. I'm frugality. And together,
Well, he's both.
We talk about all things love
Mhm.
and savings.
That's right. Savings and BO.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. It couldn't have been one of the big stories today. Just didn't make it in time for Perez Bilton's hot goss, hot celebrity goss. Is Sylvester Stallone's wife filing for divorce
I
after
saw
25
this.
years? Boy, she takes water wasting seriously because he was on that list of celebrities who are getting in trouble out in L.A. for wasting water when they're not supposed to be, right? There are droughts. Kevin Hart, Kim Kardashian, all of the usual suspects. And those are just the people who got caught, by the way.
She is so hot.
Jennifer Flavin.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone's been
Waving.
the hurting Rocky. Jennifer Flavin and Stallone have been married for a quarter century. He was, of course, famously married a couple of times at Brigitte Nielsen. Jennifer Flavin is considerably younger than he is. I think he's 75. She might be like 50. But yesterday, the story was that he had his tattoo of her covered up with a tattoo of his dog. He had a big shoulder piece of Jennifer Flavin, and they've got 4 grown girls. And that a photo of him in the chair getting it covered up with a picture of his dog. That's never a good sign. It sounds like maybe it was preemptive on his part because she has filed for divorce. Saying, he's 76 and she's 22 years younger, whatever the math is on
She's
that.
54.
54. Simply no way to know what that math is. But she is accusing him of hiding assets. Now, yeah, he better be. In her court filing, she says that they have marital assets and he is hiding them. But I'll tell you what, when you post a photo of getting your wife's face covered up with your dog, that's not a good sign.
I have a question. Where do you even hide a coffee table?
Or
curtains.
Curtains you could fold and put in a drawer.
That I understand. You could hide your curtains in with your other linens. Where are you going to hide a coffee table?
Storage unit. Maybe a secret storage unit.
Mary's assets differ slightly from Sylvester Stallone's assets.
Listen, everything's appreciating in value in my home. My lighthouse dishes, my mismatched silverware, my coffee table.
Flavin filed for divorce on Friday in Palm Beach County and is saying that he's intentionally trying to either deplete their marital assets or put them somewhere else. She took his name. She's been Jennifer Stallone for 25 years. She's looking to restore her maiden name, Flavin. So, but boy, that means she's going to be back on the market. She looks great. She was a model back in the day. Stallone looks like an old guy who still is trying to be Rocky. He's got like the jet black goatee and,
He's doing what he can to stay young.
He's doing what he can. I mean, he's juicing. I interviewed Sylvester Stallone in his hotel room about 15 years ago, and the guy looks like he's about 4 feet tall. So the pictures of him and his wife have always confused me because meeting him in person, you can't believe how short he is. His daughters, the best possible combination of his face and Jennifer Flavin. These daughters are knockouts. You know how Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughters, it's a real roll of the dice thing,
yeah.
right? Flavin.
They're getting the wrong jaws and stuff.
Yeah, it's like
jaw to eye combo.
Yeah. There's a very Picasso vibe with that whole thing.
Wow, Sistine Stallone is very pretty.
But these girls are,
and probably taller than her dad.
Lovely, though. The marriage is irretrievably broken. So whether or not he thinks that his wife is expendable.
Yeah!
He said it thing from one of his movies. I mean.
He said it. Oh.
That's the title.
I'll tell you what. Who knew their marriage was so rocky? Oh, come on.
Do another one.
I mean.
I bet his wife's going to hook up with a comedian like that Burnham guy, and then she's going to Rambo.
Oh, my God.
Well, she's blaming him for everything. She said he's the one who drew first blood. Right. So anyway, she's posted photos of her and her daughters and saying that they are her only priority in life. But, when you're a young girl and your dad is 76, even I'm not that old of a dad. I mean,
Does that make you feel better?
Well, Sylvester Stallone's also a multi-millionaire, so I'd say.
Yeah, and she's going to be getting some of that money, and she's going to be dancing. It's going to be a real tango in cash.
Wait, hold on. Oh, darn it, I lost my... There we go.
I don't know any Sylvester Stallone.
Well, the trouble is, the story that I read, it just kind of cut off, so I felt like it was a real cliffhanger there for a second. Yeah.
Well, also, you got to go to court, and then you get nervous about being in court because you have Judge Dredd.
Oh, boy.
The worst is when they play their children against each other and turn them into real spy kids.
Into what?
Spy Kids.
Oh, was he in that?
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Oh, Spy Kids. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, she wants the marital assets, including stock options and her rhinestone ring. Anyway. So, congratulations to them. Whatever. Also, for anybody who might feel like Cleveland is not getting its due as a city.
I got one more. If she gets a hold of those assets and some of it is real estate, she's going to cop land.
So
Well, the way that he ruined everything, she called him a real demolition man.
Yeah, there we go.
I hate this so much.
It's so much fun, though.
Why?
It's so bad.
I mean, I'm sure she's been in movies too. I just don't know what those would be. He says he's open to dating again. He says that he has an open mind about the whole thing. He doesn't care anything about race, color, or creed. He has no problem whatsoever
Just
with...
as long as they let him in their Paradise Alley.
That's right.
Well, the girls are at his daughters are an age now where they're probably going to take the mom side, and she's very protective of.
God, she's such a long setup.
Of those kids, and if those men don't treat them right, they'll be like, "Stop, or my mom will shoot."
There you go. Yeah. Well, no, she was Jennifer Flavin was worried that with the dissolution that he would kick her off of his insurance. He said, "You're still eligible for Cobra."
She said, "Good, because I don't have a death wish."
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
these are all over the top. The premise of that movie is he was an arm wrestling champion
to get custody of his kids.
A trucker that arm wrestled to get custody of his kids.
Mm-hmm.
The 80s were awesome.
Yep. So we wish them nothing but the best in their future endeavors. They did live in, essentially, they had this beautiful home there in Florida, and it was, I guess, surrounded by a nature preserve or something. They would mention many nights they were unable to sleep because of all the nighthawks that were out. By the way, what a great, underrated early Stallone movie. You ever seen Nighthawks?
No.
Rutger Hauer is the bad guy. What an awesome movie Nighthawks is. Had to be 78, 79, around there. So good.
Rutger Hauer's a very good
He's dead
guy.
now, right? Rutger Hauer
I
died?
think so.
Yeah.
Well, he was in a weird movie that I just saw a trailer for or something.
Lady Hawk from back in the day? Or a newer movie?
No, it was like a movie in the 90s.
Well, anyway, Stallone and Jennifer Flavin are divorcing after 25 years. They will, I guess, be...
Blind Fury.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where he's a blind guy.
He's like Daredevil.
And he basically just goes around beating the crap out of people.
You think that's funny? You got to check out Hobo with a Shotgun. You ever seen Hobo with a Shotgun?
Yeah.
They will be securing their own legal teams. Rumor is that Stallone will get Carter. Right. Jennifer Flavin's lawyer is also said to be a specialist. Okay, let me get the hell out of this.
He was in Ants, too.
Huh?
Ants. Something of the movie Ants with a Z.
They were really worried about telling their family, especially their uncles and...
Ants.
Ands. All right, you want to get the last...
There's daylight at the end of this tunnel.
Victory!
Did it. All right, take a break here if you want to get the last word in. 35192 to text, and we will be back after these.
It's the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell me to play